Hello, everybody. Still kung hei fa choi to everyone. Kevin Chan here, 7:30 in the morning again. And today we're gonna going back into the series to talk about how to identify a house that will enrich you, or how to identify a house that will cause you little bit of a financial issue. And this is what we're gonna take a look at, the Rich House Poor House series. Good morning. I can see Peter is around, Pepper is around, Kelvin Wu is around, Manuel is around. Yeah, how's you guys all doing? Right, so like usual, a blink of an eye, today is the 24th of February already, so second month of the year. Hey, almost finished already. So fast, isn't it? Right, so I told you this year was gonna be like a little bit more faster than normal. And as I would be telling people, is that now all excuses gone already. New year, 1st of January, long gone. You have your solar calendar transition, the Lapchon gone. Now Chinese New Year also almost finished. You don't tell me, wait until the 15th. Some say that, wait until after Pai Ting Gong first. Right, Pai Ting Gong is on the 8th, 9th, on the 9th day, right? So those are for Hokkien people. Alright, so they have a, that is actually much more grand than the normal Chinese New Year that we have. But anyway, whatever that you celebrate, right, it's a great thing, right? So yeah, spend some time, do some celebrative thing, meet up with your friend, probably like once a year type of activity, right? So do all those things, right? But then in the end, you still have to go and execute your plan, right? The New Year resolution that you have been writing about, right? Right, tonight is Pai Ting Gong in Penang, right? So we need it, right? So it's gonna be a spectacular. For us here, it's gonna be World War. It's like every family trying to show everybody that their firework is the best. Pew, poo, 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 poo. Go and watch firework for those of you who love firework. Right, so anyway, so let's come back to this. Today we're gonna talk about embrace in the decision, or in the entire matrix of you deciding what sort of house to take up, right? So this is probably some of the thing that you want to take a look, especially right now in the modern era, right? So it's more important for you to understand how to pick a right house for yourself, so that you minimize the problem and also maximize the potential. Come, let me shrink myself down to the smaller version like usual. Let's go in and take a look. So as usual, Telegram, a great place for you to download stuff, great place for you to get in touch with me, right? So all the newest of whatever happened, I usually update into Telegram itself, right? So then there is always the newsletter. There's going to be a written version of stuff, that I publish. Right, so mostly it's gonna be the forecast, right? So in a few more days, all the forecast for the month of Rabbit, which is March, is gonna be starting to publish. So for those of you who want to read, who want to have the forecast firsthand to plan for your month of March or the activity, this will be the channel for you to subscribe to, right? And then there's community channel. Everybody come in, or a practitioner, and also people who are interested in Chinese metaphysics. You want to have a discussion there, feel free to go in and make some posts and get the discussion running. All right, so same thing, right? So these are a series of topic that I've made for people to, when you are selecting a property, if you are looking for a property, or even if you already have a property, you can make a judgment from this, right? So now this one doesn't require heavy use of any formula at all. All of this is basically skill set that you can acquire very simply. All of this basically require your eyesight to judge the situation, right? So we have done the smell, we have done the clutter, we have done the grand duke, we have done the piercing shaft, we have done the pulling nose. All of these are featured that basically may signal certain issue if you decide to stay in this particular home. Right, so today we're going to move in and take a look at the embrace, and learn a little bit about the situation of the embrace. Right, so come, let's go and take a look at the embrace. So now embrace in Feng Shui, they usually name it as Sa, or aka called Sand. Right, so embrace are basically lone mountain. That's it. Right, so in actual terminology term, embrace are lone mountain. Right, so you guys know our dragon, right? Dragon is connected mountain, which normally we call dragon ranges. So we call range of mountains. So these are mountains that from a certain perspective, you see like they seems to be flowing on one particular direction. So they are connected from one to each other. Those are called dragon, or those we basically call the mountain ranges here. So then there are some mountain which is seems to be abandoned by other mountains. So they stand alone. We call them embraces, right? So of course, this one, when we are deciding in terms of a Feng Shui, the dragon is the main carrier of qi to your area, right? So that is the the main engine that carries, whereas the embrace is named as the protector. Once the qi has been released, you need something to stabilize and protect the qi, right? So the embrace act as this particular job. So it helps stabilize the qi, it helps protect the qi from dispersion. So qi that is released from the mountain, if it's not being contained, if it's not being collected, so it will disperse. So the embrace act as a protector to prevent dispersion of qi. So once the qi doesn't disperse, then it will collect, it will converge in the particular area. Then you can start to use the qi. Right, pretty simple, right? So this is like somebody who earn money but does not know how to cut their expenses. No matter how much money you earn, right, you just spend it off into rubbish. You've seen those people, right? So you've seen those people who have very, very high income potential, right? So but then they just take the money and just simply spend it into the rubbish bin. Those are people who doesn't have embrace, right? They don't know how to protect the wealth, right? So same thing lah. If you look at embrace, if the embrace is not good, then you will find that the place very difficult for them to contain, retain, right? So the whatever resources, whatever riches that they are managed to create, whatever that they are managed to generate is difficult for them to this, right? So in yin feng shui means deciding a tomb. Right, so deciding a tomb, the embrace is the primary consideration to find out which of the sun. Last time got many suns on people. All right, so right now most people only got one. Amazing if you got two, so no need to decide already now. The last time they got many, they have to decide. Is the location of the embrace is the one who decide which of the sun is going to benefit the most from the tomb that is being constructed. So it's important last time embrace, right? So to take a look at it. So of course, today care no less no one bother about it anymore, right? Again, today the family probably only got two fella, right? There's nothing to nothing to fight for already. Right, so that's basically what we call embrace. Come, let's go in and take a look at it from a more what we call micro or a more close perspective, right? So this is the map of Kuala Lumpur, right? So Kuala Lumpur is where Mua is, me, right? So actually I'm outside. I'm in the place called Puchong. It's basically outside of this. So last time when anybody decide where to start a city, the first task of doing it is to identify a place whereby it is suitable. So when I identify a place which is suitable from Feng Shui perspective, it's going to be the four celestial beast formation, right? So the four celestial beast formation is the black turtle at the back, right? Black turtle, black tortoise, 玄武, right? So it's at the back. Then you got the green dragon at the left, white tiger at the right, right? So and then there is the phoenix at the front, right? So now these are all nothing more than mountains. So the naming convention make it look cool. Doesn't matter, right? So whatever that is on the left hand side, we call it the green dragon. Whatever that's on the right hand side, we call it the what we call your white tiger. Whatever is at the back is basically called the black tortoise. The front is called the red phoenix, right? So that's all. Yeah, just naming convention. So which means that if you change your location perspective, the same exact mountain change name. That's it. Right, so very, very easy, right? So can you see that the Kuala Lumpur state, right? Kuala Lumpur technically is not really a state. Selangor is a state. Kuala Lumpur is a Wilayah Persekutuan. It's called what? But anyway, right? So it is built inside this particular formation, right? So from a military point of view, this sort of formation is a very guarded setup whereby it is difficult for people to come and attack. So of course, with the black tortoise at the back, it's very difficult for any army to attack from the back of this particular place. So with the green dragon and also the white tiger. Now, green dragon and white tiger are called embraces. They are called embraces. Right, so they are the one who protect the chi that come from the forest in KL. Basically, is the Banjaran Titi Wangsa. So it's the Titi Wangsa mountain range. Right, so that's where. So the Titi Wangsa mountain range is originated from the Kunlun mountain range. So Kunlun is the big dragon, then come away, whatever it is, right? So this is the smaller dragon. So this is the direction of the dragon, right? So it come over here, right? So then, the phoenix also is a part of it, whereby it make it difficult. So phoenix create choke point in the front. So when there is choke point, then the army can only choose to either squeeze themselves to the left hand side or squeeze themselves to the right hand side. So hence make guarding, protecting, defending this particular area become easier. So that is from the militaristic point of view, right? So of course, when you apply Feng Shui there, you can give it a lot of Feng Shui story. So depend, right? So depend how you want to take a look at it. But this is the what we call the standard formation when you want to select a city capital, right? So to be right, so because you need the place to be well defended. You don't want a place whereby there is 4 direction open. So if 4 direction open, then anywhere people can basically come in. So in Feng Shui perspective, if 4 direction open, it makes collection of qi difficult. It makes the conversion of qi difficult. So, and the dispersion of qi become very fast. Like this sort of places whereby the 4 celestial animal is there, qi is converged and not so easily dispersed. So hence the people there can use the qi. So the entire idea is really just collection of qi and usage of qi. Right, so this is what we call embraces, right? So from a big view, from a big macro view, these are called embraces. So again, this is another area, right? So this is another area, which is the Sri Petaling, OUG. You can also see that they have this particular formation, right? So you have this particular formation, whereby there is a mountain in front, mountain at the back, left and right. There's basically a mountain in this area, right? So this particular area is there, right? So you can see that the what we call the classical celestial animal formation does exist. Right, does exist in terms of Feng Shui. Some people said, oh no, it's difficult to find this sort of stuff. Last time it's difficult to find because it's really very difficult to find a good place. So last time if you want to find this, right, you have to climb mountain. Then only, so right now got Google Maps, got your terrain view. By the way, this is the terrain view in the Google Map, right? So you can basically see contours, you can see mountain already. So it's not too difficult, right? Not too difficult. But anyway, today hardly you'll be doing any of this, what we call mountain discovery or land area discovery. Very, very rare. Even for myself, I've only done 1 and 2, 1 or maybe 2 of them. Not a very interesting career, by the way. Right, because there is just too much restriction when it comes to land development. Here cannot, there cannot touch, like this cannot, like that cannot, right? So you want to find a actually good places is very difficult, right? So it's very difficult. To me, it's called not worth your life doing this. Okay, but anyway, right? So you can see the 4 celestial animals. So like this one, if we take a look at it, then the white tiger, which is the right hand side. Which is where the Sungai Besi is. That particular mountain is bigger, compare. So whether a mountain is big or small, you need to compare. Anything at all, whether it's big or small, far or near, all this, which is comparative wording, right? So you need to compare. Compare to where? Right. So right hand side basically is the white tiger. So if you take a look at this area, the white tiger is more fierce. So which means that there are more powerful women in this area than men. That's all, nothing much, right? So nothing wrong with women being powerful, right? So this is period 9. So period 9, I always tell people, it's best to become one of the what I say is Gawan Namsan, the male god of period 9. But male god of period 9 means that you fully let the woman take care of you. Right? Let the woman go work, let the woman go and earn the money. You become couch potato at the house, good ma? Awesome life, man. Right? So, you can take a look at this. So the embrace is basically the two mountain, which is, protecting the entire area. Right, so make sure that the chi doesn't disperse away, right? So because the chi is, again, the black tortoise is where the chi is donated into this particular, released into this area. So this is the main source of chi into this particular area, right? So but the main source of chi doesn't converge on its own, so it needs the embrace formation to help it converge. Right, so this is basically the embrace from a macro point of view, right? So now back to Feng Shui. Back to Feng Shui, when we take a look at the embrace, right, it is actually comparing your building with the rest of the environment, right? So comparing your building with the rest of the environment, right? So then there is this omnibus wording that Feng Shui will use, right? So it's called 獨陽不長 then 就獨陰就不生. Right, so single yin, no give birth. Single yang, no growth. So it tells you that, when your property is not very balanced in this particular area, not very balanced means that you stand out, either you are too big or you are too small. Right? Either you are in a situation whereby you are too big or you are too small. Right, so now big and small, then you need to take a look at the embrace around you. Right, so whatever building there is around you, it become what we call the embrace. It's basically the protector of your area. Right, so you need to take a look. So which means that if this entire piece of land, you are the only house there, right? Even doesn't even have mountain around. Right, doesn't even, so when from wherever that you stand to wherever that you can see from your eye, provided that you're not short-sighted. Cannot see anything, desolated land, and you're the only building there, right? So this is the your lonely town inside a desert, right? So you guys seen those movie before, right? So one lonely town inside the desert, nothing around, right? So you can see that this lonely desert town usually very difficult. Those small still high tree count as well. Hill, yes, tree nose. Hill, yes, tree no. Okay. Right, so any sort of elevated area, right? Any sort of elevated area can be counted as a mountain, right? So can be counted. So now when we talk about mountain, right? So it's just basically hill, whatever it is, right? So whatever that's basically higher, right? So now what happened when you have something that is too big for its own good? Too big for its own good mean that there's no embrace, right? Understand the perspective. When you are too big for your own good mean that you don't have embrace. So general conclusion is you're not protected. Anything happen, you're the first one to get wet. Right, so this one you can see, right? So now this one is, I think, very common for a modern places. Is where you have a town, then this is the first condominium that's being built there. Huge condominium, not the flat like maybe 3 stories one. Doesn't create that much problem, but when we're talking about a multi-story 50-story condominium being built, right? So in that particular area, so that is the first condo, right? So that's the first condo, then you're the only fella which is big, so the rest of the landscape area become no embrace because you are just too huge. One fella one fella standing there, right? So this is called 獨陽不長. So whoever that stay in this particular area, basically they don't have any growth. So if you take a look at human, also is the same. If you are the strongest in the clan of people, you generally don't grow anymore because you're the strongest one. You become lazy, right? So there's no point growing, right? So where your closest competitor is just too far away, so you degrade. Right, so same thing for whoever there's this. So which means that any problem that come this particular direction, you will become the person who would take all the problem, right? So change this a little bit. Houses that is on top of the hill, so you have a hill in this particular area, right? So then you build a house right on top of the hill, you will also have this particular problem. So you become the most standout tall building in the particular area, right? So that one is also called 獨陽. Right, so you will also have that particular problem. So whatever problem that come your direction is gonna be all carried by you. Right, so now question, can you carry the problem? Right, so a problem can always magnify itself into, infinity. So, don't go and tell people, I can't. You can today, might not be able to be tomorrow. So it's actually very tiring being the residents of the biggest building in the particular area, biggest, tallest building in the particular area, right? So it's going to be very, very, very tiring, right? So also at the same time, people who stay in this particular building, they will become very selfish, right? A specific word is actually narcissistic, right? So they'll be all themselves. They are the biggest, right? So of course, right? So you see, when you are when you are the biggest in the particular area, you become narcissistic a bit. Right? So full of yourself, like it's called. Right? So that's basically the area. So now, again, then you take a look. Right? So now this one is you need to be slightly a bit careful when you, let's say that. Now, right now, if you go to a place in a town which is pretty much modernly developed, everything basically look the same, right? So initially, everything basically look the same. Nobody house is bigger than another house, right? Like Tanlang energy, a bit like Tanlang energy, right? So Tanlang is greedy wolf. Now you see, the different Tanlang is the Tanlang usually is more associated with somebody who has a suave reputation. They are usually scholars that have a real contribution, a real work that they have done. Maybe not them done, maybe it's the family lineage has done, right? So it has passed down. Right, so you're from the lineage of scholar, you're from the lineage of generals, right? So whoever behind you has already done something good, right? So this is like your grandfather donated a school in the local place. Your granddad go out work, earn a lot of money, come back. What he do is that he made a school, right? So he made a school. Then the school usually named after your grandfather. Then you happen to be the grandchild, right? So then you are benefiting from Tanlang. Right, so you have that, that reputation or certain thing that you didn't do, right? So that's basically it, right? So like this one is the problem is it focuses everything on you. So when everything is focuses on you, right? So because you're the biggest building, everything get hurt, everything hit you first. You like it, you don't like it, everything get concentrated to you, right? So got problem, you go and make a walk, right? Got anything good also, you're gonna be the first one, to the table. And that's a good part of it, right? So that's good part. But again, the pressure of doing this, right? So like anybody want to attack a town, right? They will pick the biggest building to whack first. Makes sense, right? Makes sense, right? The biggest, most luxurious, the most complicated building structure in a place usually would be the first military target. Understand? So when you have something that's not very balanced to the rest of the places, you got this, right? So which means that this one is an embrace issue. There are no protector. But as times goes by, more developer come, more building is basically being built, then you become part of normal. Understand? You become part of normal. So that's why if you are the first building there, you need to help other to come up so that they become buffer for you. Same thing in running an empire. If you're running an empire, right? If you're the strongest in the particular place, right? Sure, everybody will come and kill you, right? So then you make other people strong as well, right? So you make other people. So the target become dispersed. So anybody who come and attack you would be worried of the other party, which is basically there as well. If they attack you, their soldier amount drop, then the other will take opportunity to come and attack your attacker. That's the entire idea, right? So if you are in this, so when you are buying a place that time when you're selecting, so again, right, this one is on the pretext of you selecting a place. Don't go and select the biggest building, whereby you take a look at it is desolated, nothing else is there, then you're the only fella, right? So if this particular building is fully occupied, then at least the burden is being dispersed to the entire building. At least, right? So everybody carries that particular burden. But if you're the only one there, then everything goes to you, Right? So same thing, they are now what we call some building. So in KL itself, where there's bungalow on top of the condo. the rooftop, instead of leaving it as rooftop, somebody has developed, you know, bungalow on top. Yeah, there's a house, single house on top of the condo. Yep. There's an entire house on top of a condo. So on top of a condo, it looked like, you know, it is a housing area with one bungalow lot on top of it. Interesting, but that bungalow lot is going to carry the most of all the buildings, again, good or bad. Usually they are more bad than good, right? So if the house is on a hill, but neighborhood house from the left and right are on the hillside as well. No, if you're on top of the hill, there is no neighbor side. So that's why, you know, please do not choose a house that is on top of a hill. Right, so a house on top of a hill is usually bad. Right, so right on the top, right? So right on the top, because right on the top, there's no way for you to have any protection. Unless there is mountain embraces that's bigger than the hill. The hill is a tiny hill. You put a house on top of it, but the sideline embrace is still bigger than the hill. So if your hill is the only mountain, again, you know, when you are standing there, you know, for whatever that your eyesight can see, there is no effing mountain around. Everything is basically at a lower vantage point than you, and you're the only one, then you're causing problem. That's it. Right. So, you know, if you go on to more modern, you can see, you know, this sort of housing. And so there's just one, and the fella is just much bigger than you. And this is called no embrace. Right? This is called no embrace. The reverse, if you're the most tiniest house around, then, you know, it's called too much embrace. Too much embrace also no good. Too much embrace means that you're too well protected. Too well protected means that you do anything also cannot. You try to do anything, somebody will stop you. Okay, right? So somebody will stop you. They will stop you, you know, whether it's called on a good intention or not, right? So good intention or not, you know, it's like stopping a child from doing anything, right? So if you see the child trying to reach his hand to touch anything at all, what happened to the adult? Especially in a place whereby there's a lot of adults. No, cannot. Yeah, cannot. There, cannot. Here, tabule. Right. So you got too many people restricting you. Right. So this is where you got, you know, too much embrace. So this one is too little embrace. Too little embrace. Then, you know, you carry everything. Right. So every single. By the way, this is Vietnam. Right. So Vietnam, is it Vietnam? Vietnam or Cambodia? Vietnam. Right. So Vietnam like this sort of things, because why? They can build outward. Right. So their piece of land, they are allowed to build upward. Right. So, you know, so that's why a lot of time they are building, they always their building always can build upward. Right. So, you know, they have a family member, you know, new family member coming in, or whoever got married, they just build another floor on top and, you know, put the married fella on top. So that's what you do, right? So after some time, if you do this, then you become the only building there. Then you are not protected, that's all. Right? So no embrace means that your level of protection become very small. So if you can still fight everybody, basically it's okay, man. Right? So it's just that, you know, any trouble is concentrated on you. Whoever, you know, the residents of this particular structure or building. Right? So it just all get concentrated into your side area. Right? So if you're okay with it, so if you're young, when you are young, when you are still physically fit, you usually do not really feel it too bad. Usually do not feel it too bad. But as you grow older, you will find it very taxing for you just to protect everything that you have built. Especially when you have built something. When you have nothing in your hand that time, this one doesn't really bother you too much. Because why? Nothing. There's nothing for you to protect. Right? So, but when you start have certain things that you want to protect, you know, you got start to have certain things that you might want to pass down to your next generation, you do not want to put yourself in a situation that look like this, whereby your building is too significant in comparison to the rest. Right, so by logic also is the same. If you are, you know, staying in a what we call the township area, and then you buy over, we all usually stay in what we call a terrace area. Terrace area means that the house is linked one to another. So we share walls. You know, we share walls. right? So they are linked to one to another. So if you buy 2 units and suddenly you destroy the 2 units, you build one huge house there. So you become the most significant, biggest, tallest house in the area. You will also have this problem, right? It just means that the embrace is not strong enough to protect you. So you are generally called exposed, not protected. So again, if you are strong, right, you are still having that vitality, you are young, and generally speaking, you don't have anything. This is fine, right? So but then as you grow older, you have collected certain amount of resources and riches, especially when you're thinking of oh, this thing I want to pass down to my next generation. If you are staying in this sort of things, you're going to have massive amount of problem, right? So again, you are the one that need to do the protection. No one else is going to come and assist you to do the protection. So you become very tiring, right? So tiring itself, right? So this is embrace, right? So now again, this one pretty easy for you to take a look, right? So if you are modern one, there's only one consideration, and if you go and buy certain, especially right now, everybody buy condo. Condo is basically a unit whereby your roof, your floor, and your wall is being shared. That's it. That's called condo. Right, your roof and also your floor also is being shared. So single unit bungalow mean that you're not sharing any of your walls with anybody. Then we got those which is called what we call duplex, right? So duplex is sharing one wall. Then you got terrace is sharing both wall. Then you go up, you got condo is sharing floor and also sharing the roof. That's it, right? So it's just how many wall you share, right? So if you are finding a place, then you go to a place and that is the only condominium within the site that you can see, then you would have an embrace issue, right? So again, but when you're in the condominium, then you found out that from the condominium, the way that you can see mountains, the mountain actually act as an embrace for the entire place. Then your condominium, which is basically there, it become the antenna, right? So it become the antenna mean that it start to converge all the chi to that particular structure. That is good, right? But you can see that you're not the tallest, biggest structure in the particular area. But from far, you cannot see anything. That's the only, right? So this one is usually a problem for new township, right? Or that is basically the area whereby the first development is being done, and you got that particular issue. Quite easy to avoid, which is wait for the place to be mature a bit first, right? So unless you are somebody who again, nothing to lose, still pretty young, right? So still pretty young, nothing to lose, vitality still quite okay. You don't mind going in a little bit of fight with the rest of the people, then it's fine, right? So no need, right? So again, embrace lack of support, lack of people protecting you. Your chi is basically not being contained or not being converged. It causes the residents to be very tired in the activity of defending itself from external, right? So a lot of things you need to defend, it make you very tired. So again, young, vital, very powerful, nothing to lose, basically fine, you don't have anything. But when you start to have next generation, you got a bit of resources, you scared people come and go find some places whereby it is more stable, right? So everybody around the same area, your house can be a bit bigger than the rest, a bit bigger is fine, right? So so which means everybody 1 story, you 2 story, you are still fine. But everybody 1 story, you 5 story, then you got a bit of a problem. Cool, right? So this is the embrace. So again, no need to use any compass or anything for you guys, right? So pretty simple, right? So okay, that's it for today's sharing, right? So see you guys, bye.